Hey everyone, I'm excited to be here. We are Poe on the call. My name is Cris Rivers.
And I'm Mandy Mac.
Yes, and we are here with Poe coach and performer JazzyBee.
Hello, thanks for having me. Very excited.
Yay.
Truly
Thank you so
our
much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
I'm super excited to learn all about your pole journey, starting at the beginning. What started your pole journey?
Yeah, I feel like so earlier today I was actually listening to Vaughn's, and I think that mine is quite similar to Vaughn's initial start in that like I also had sort of a New Year's resolution to just do the things that I wanted to do. And I guess a little extra context for that is I had found a Groupon for pole classes. And I was trying to get some of my friends to go with me. We were a couple years out of college, and I personally played softball all through college, like played sports my whole life. So I was trying to find like a way to do something, be active, find a new identity. Because when softball ended for me, that at least like was part of my identity that was kind of gone. Um, so I was trying to get some friends to go to this pole class with me, and it seemed like people were kind of dragging their feet on it, maybe not really ready, willing to go. Even though they said like, "Oh, that sounds so fun," but we could never really find the time. And then January rolled around, and I was coming back from visiting my family in California, and was just like, "Nope, I'm gonna do this. I don't need anyone else to go. I can be independent." And so I signed up for a class and I had a blast on the first day, and then signed up for a second class that was like the next week and also had a blast. And then because I was in my first year of graduate school, I got kind of busy with rotations and trying to find my lab. So I didn't really take another class for about a month and a half. I also had gone to New Orleans for my birthday. And then when I got back, it was March of 2020, by the way, and I did one more class. And then after that class, the studio had to close for lockdown. And I was really sad for a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can buy a pole. And lo and behold, you're able to buy a pole very easily online. So I got a pole, put it up in my apartment, and started taking online classes with local instructors. And that became my whole life through spring and summer of 2020, and all the way until now, in different ways and different phases. But that really, I feel like having to be either in my apartment or running around outside just to get some fresh air really solidified pole as a new chapter in my life because I got to spend so much time with it right away.
I love it. One good thing, probably the one good thing about COVID is people getting into pole dancing.
Yeah, you really got to have like your own reflection time to figure out like what was important to you, what things you enjoy doing. And I don't know, that's what I tried to take away from it.
Yes. And online shopping became huge. You definitely can buy a pole very easy. It's so fun.
Had no idea beforehand.
Oh, too funny. Did you find that your experience with softball, and when you started transferring over to pole, did you find it helped, training wise,
Um,
discipline wise, or anything?
I think it definitely helped. I was used to literally from high school, I think, being in the gym and doing strength training. So I think that having that strength training background all the way from high school into college, where it got more intense, um, made it so that I progressed pretty quickly early on. I still had a lot of learning to do on coordination and flow, especially, and I'm always still learning. but I definitely had a pretty strong base because of my experiences in athletics and sports and softball. And yeah, I had like a brief stint when I was in middle school where we did cheer as well. So I knew I was kind of flexible, but I didn't really pursue that path. So I didn't know what like my upper limits were. Now I have learned that I have some hypermobility. And I think that a lot of the time that was masked just because I had sort of experience in strength training that like I had kind of the base muscular support to um, not experience any issues with my hypermobility. But now that I am pushing my limits more and more, um, I'm starting to notice where my limitations are that are at least partially due to hypermobility. So softball and sports definitely helped with like having experience with strength training and kind of understanding a bit of the proprioception of pole, but I still had a lot more to go for sure, and always still do.
Oh, I love that. That's like the part that I'm missing, that strong foundation. Because I am also hypermobile and I'm just a floppy noodle. Um, do you have any tips for like that carried over that you still do, that you can offer for any of us that are also floppy noodles?
For floppy noodles, I don't know. I feel like I never had the like complete floppy noodle experience. Um, but working with coaches now, where I find that, oh, I really am not using the right muscles here. Um, I find that for me, I like have a hard time with push in my right arm. I'm used to pulling with that arm rather than pushing. And part of the reason is because like I kind of just like can get really extended and that's it. And my muscles aren't really doing anything. It's just because there's more mobility in my joints. So I've started trying to like take it really slow and feel and at least like put my hands where I need to feel muscle engagement to try and I guess acknowledge where I should be feeling my body actually doing something as opposed to just kind of like throwing myself into things. Um, I think though generally a tip would be to start small in the gym and find a way to get yourself in there. It can be really scary at first, especially if you're going alone. So either start small if you're going by yourself or find a buddy to go together with. Pick just a few exercises that are like compound exercises to start. And yeah, start small. And then it's actually really fun to see yourself progress as you spend more and more time in the gym too.
Well, thank you for that advice, that you just made me feel good about, because I just started going back to the gym and I started at like no weights, just let's feel what this feels like. And it's been so eye-opening. So thank you for that.
Good, yay. Yes.
Right. I was like, I can be strong too. But yeah, it'll take a little time.
And you
There's
so can.
right. How long into your pole dance journey before you knew that you wanted to be a coach?
Yeah, so I think I was about a year and a half or almost 2 years in when I was like in a class at one point, and the instructor was like, have you thought about teaching? Like, we have a teacher training program, you should think about it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't know. I don't know enough. I'm not ready for that. I don't feel like I can like be someone else's coach. Did you not just see me like fall out of that in like the most uncoordinated way? So I was kind of reluctant at first, mostly because yeah, I didn't necessarily have the confidence. And I consider myself also an introverted person. I can hide the introvertedness and be more of an extrovert, but I definitely consider myself more of an introverted person. Um, so it took me a little while. I was as I was like getting more into pole and having fun with the other people in class that I was seeing more frequently with the instructors, I wanted to get more involved in the community. And then I think I got to a point where I was like, okay, I want to be in the studio. I want to spend more time with these people. There wasn't really another way to be involved in terms of like some studios have like desk managers or social media managers, and that wasn't really an option at the time. So I decided, okay, I will do this teacher training, and if it works out, it works out. If not, that's okay, and I could try again later. It just wasn't the right time. And this was also good timing because I was like, if I want to spend more time on pole, I also need to subsidize this hobby some way. And I do not condone pole instructing being entirely motivated by financials, but it definitely helps. So I don't think that that should ever be anyone's main motivation for teaching other people. You have to actually really enjoy teaching and want to lay that foundation for yourself to be a good teacher, and then for lay the foundation for others to progress safely in their pole journeys and encourage them and have a good time and whatnot. But yeah, so I felt like I was a little on the early side for when you should become an instructor, but I knew that I would still take it very seriously. And I think that that has stayed true. I hope my students feel that way as well. So yeah, kind of early, about 2 years in to my pole journey. So I've been teaching for almost 3 years now.
Yes, I love that. I mean, you're right. It shouldn't be only about money because it requires so much education and continuing learning to serve the different communities, body types, and learning styles. And you have to definitely really enjoy teaching.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I do. And like I knew that I liked teaching because I like have been a mentor for various types of things. I teach people at my school. I was always like a TA or tutor beforehand. So I do love teaching and helping people to understand things or explore their own curiosities, that kind of stuff. So I knew that like that kind of thing would translate. I just wasn't yet confident in like my ability to do that in the context of pole, but that quickly sort of developed and took training courses, learning online, learning from other instructors in person, always trying to add to the repertoire. I have like textbooks and stuff on biomechanics now. It's been super fun to continue learning, being a lifelong student.
Yes. 100% nerding out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a nerd in always.
Right? Like I didn't know how much I liked physics before pole dancing.
It's actually really cool. This is super nerdy, but I was just telling my partner earlier that I miss taking engineering classes, and I, for the past couple days, have been thinking about Fourier transforms and how I miss knowing how to do them. I haven't had to use them in forever, so I don't really remember how to do any of it, but I remember enjoying that part of my signal transduction class and wanting to revisit it.
OMG, that's the worst when you get to do like fun things in school and learn about these things and then you don't even use them out in the real world and you forget about them. I
Yeah, lost a lot of knowledge since not applying it, which like translates to everything that we do, right? Like if you're not using it, you're gonna lose it.
yeah, sad.
Right? If
But
you don't practice a pole sit.
It's gonna hurt. Next time you do it, it's gonna hurt.
Oh, what is your favorite style of pole dancing? So hard.
That's so hard. I feel like it really goes in waves because yeah, yeah, it goes in waves. You try something and then you start to explore it more, and then you're like, ooh, I really like this. I'm gonna spend some time on it. and then something else pops up and you're like, ooh, I'm really into that. Um, for me, at least right now, and probably what's been the most consistent for me is acrobatic pole and static pole. So I really like doing handstands and things that are low on the pole and upside down. Um, I am really wanting to love and be good at static rotation. I love watching static rotation. Am I proficient at it? Not that proficient, but it is a goal that I have and would like to continue to pursue. Which kind of flows into the like acrobatic static pole. So that's kind of I would say that that's my favorite. But I like flowy spin pole. I like, I don't know, power pole. I've been kind of like toning down on the power pole right now just to make sure that my shoulders are all ready. But yeah, definitely more of a static than a spin pole person, but there's a time and a place for both of them. And then I'm really trying to get into my heels era. You can see my heels back here. I'm really trying to make that happen, to get more flowy and have some fun with the ankle weights.
Your heels era is gonna be awesome. Once you start adding it to the acrobats and everything, I love it. And you're right,
Oh my
static
God.
rotation so hard.
It's so hard and it's so painful. I didn't realize that. I took a static rotation workshop once and was like, my skin was just gone.
It's interesting. Even the grip, like, and the way you have to grip in order to get that rotation and stuff, I was like, this is fascinatingly hard.
It's so hard. If you're a little sweaty, see ya, goodbye. You're not staying up there.
Yes, and I totally respect the fact of you listening to your shoulders for the power pole because I'm a huge power pole fanatic. I love it. But sometimes like the shoulders just it's not happening.
Yeah, you got to take care of them, especially if you have one side that is dominant,
Mhm.
because then you can really exacerbate the exhaustion on one side and get to injury way too quickly.
Fact. The things we want to do. And it is
There's too much.
yes. And it's good for the listeners and viewers to know it's okay to go in waves. You do not have to like just one style of pole. You'll go through eras.
Right? Because we're all in this forever.
Hopefully, that is the
Okay.
goal. Hopefully. Hopefully.
We must change, but there will always be pole.
I
Yes.
agree. And like, yeah, I think something that's important to me and something that I try to like stress in like my classes too is we want to be able to do this for a long time. We want longevity. So we have to like listen to our body. We have to prepare it properly for anything that we want to do. And we have to like properly progress through things so that we're not just gonna go straight to injury. Yeah, we want to be doing this for a long time. So listen to your body. Take it in waves.
Facts. I think the hardest thing for me, and I don't know if you've started seeing this yet, Jazzy, is the age thing. Realizing I'm in my mid 30s. I am no longer in my mid 20s, early 20s. I cannot do what I used to. So it's been hard to readjust to, like you said, that longevity. We want to do it forever, and I can't be doing the shit I used to do.
Right, Chris,
Yeah.
I want to comment about that too. Like I see that, but I think the like going in waves, like going back to maybe something else and like revisiting basics, that's kind of what's helping me keep the longevity for now.
You'll keep it for a long time. Long
Yeah,
Right.
time.
yes.
Yes, so far so good. But what classes do you teach?
So right now I am teaching mostly on Saturdays. I teach an acro pole class, so an acrobatic pole class. We work on our handstands, we do some low pole and floor based combos. And then I teach an artistic pole choreo class, which rather than it being choreo that I make up each week, it's kind of like a guided freestyle class where we have each week a different theme that's related to creating your own art, creating your own choreo. So maybe one week will be about shapes and lines, another week will be about contrasts, so big versus small, fast versus slow. Another one would be about energy, and we'll kind of like have some group discussions around the topic. We will do some exercises that are either solo or partner exercises to practice playing with whatever that week's theme is. And then I'll give some prompted freestyle opportunities where I'll maybe say a word or a phrase or ask a question while people are dancing to a particular song. And however they interpret that, then feeds into their movement. And then we do a little reflecting and a non-prompted freestyle at the end of that class.
These classes are Saturday morning.
Saturday afternoon.
Saturday afternoon. I'm gonna definitely try to make it to those. Those sound amazing and exactly what I need.
Come, yes, please. We have a lot of fun.
Do you teach online yet, or is it in the works?
It is definitely in the works. I now have the second room in my apartment set up with my pole. So I want to start teaching online for flexibility classes, privates if people want that. And then maybe some sort of like handstandy type class as well. Definitely really wanting to incorporate the flexibility classes because that is another like type of class that I really enjoy teaching. And I miss teaching it, so I want to add it back into the schedule, just finding the right place for it right now.
Yes, that's exciting. I love flexibility classes. They're one of my favorite things to take and teach too.
But can
Yeah,
we
sometimes you
talk-
just need someone to like push you and like tell you what to do so you don't have to think about it yourself.
So you're because like let's talk about this. Why can't we keep flex classes on the schedule? Why does no
No,
one want to take flex?
no, I think people do want to take flex. It's just at least right now at my studio schedule, there are quite a few flex classes, and so there
Oh,
was more of a need for the other more niche classes that I'm doing, which are acro
gotcha.
and artsy. Um, and I'm not mad because having the rest of my Saturday open is fun. This past weekend though, I taught from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Which was a lot, but very fun, and I got to teach different classes too. Um, but
Yes.
yeah, we'll add some flexi classes into the rotation, and I think online flex is good because you can do that from anywhere. Don't necessarily need a pole. Yeah.
Yeah, I found at least at our studio, the reason why I was like, wait a second, you have trouble getting with the flex classes. Our students, they don't come to our flex classes. So yeah,
Be
I know
located.
Why?
It could be located. Maybe they
the
didn't
pole
time.
classes are more popular. Everyone just wants pole.
Maybe
Yeah.
they didn't like my flex classes.
Or mine or
I'm
anyone's.
sure that's not true. I'm sure that's not true. They're probably like, I could see it getting discouraging for students if they feel like they're not making progress with each week. And um,
Right, it's
if,
slow.
or it's just scary to take that first leap if you're like, just told yourself already, oh, I'm not flexible enough. Like, it's not going to be worth it for me to go, which is like not true. It's always worth it, even if you're not getting into the splits within one day or even 1 year. Like, it's still worth it to prepare your body for the other stuff you want to do.
Right. And also, for all of like the muscle building that we do, we need to like stretch because stretching helps relax. We can't just keep building up so much tension. So thank you
Yep.
for these tips. I'm gonna play them for our students.
You could try offering the online flex classes. Maybe people will be more comfortable doing it from their homes instead of at the studio.
right? That's true. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
We used to do good late at night. Maybe we have to bring it back late at night.
Right? Yeah.
A before bed relaxation, get your body ready for bed. That sounds kind of nice.
Right. See, I would like that too.
I would love to teach more flex classes. Like it wasn't until I started pose seriously. I've been doing yoga even longer, and my flexibility never really increased that much with passive stretching until I learned about active stretching and strength building with flexibility.
Yeah.
Yep, it is all about the active flex. If you're trying to do a jade, gotta have active flexibility to get it nice and straight. Not that a not straight jade is not great, because those are still great. It's just if your goal is to get it flat, you need to have the active flex. And yeah, you'll see a lot more progress that way.
Yes, you will. Anywho, when did you start making the transition to performing and competing?
My first competition, which was also my first performance, and my first time performing any dance thing solo. I had done cheer, like I mentioned, back when I was in middle school, and I had like one semester in college where I was in our dance troupe and did a few, but those were nothing solo. That was virtual PSO Taurus in 2021. So I was about 1 year, 1.5 years into pole almost. Um, and it was really nerve-wracking and really scary to come up with something on my own and share it with everyone, especially considering I felt like I was putting a lot of my own emotion into it. Um, and I was competing, I think, dramatic level 3, and there were 4 people in my category, and I got third place. So I was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. And I took kind of a long break from it because I realized that it was really stressful to me to lay my soul bare like that. It was definitely a good exercise to think about how to build a performance, how to build combos, pick a song, and I had some really good guidance from other instructors and peers on like getting feedback on things. But I do think that the nerves really got to me at the time when I was more of a baby polar, and they still get to you, but I was feeling it very intensely at that time. But I shared the link in the video with friends and family, and everyone was so supportive that it made it feel even more worth it. So that was like, it was really nice to have a positive response to seeing me try this thing that I had gotten really into over lockdown period. And then I took a break, and the next time I performed for people was in, oh, okay, sorry. Um, at a showcase for the studio. Well, it was more like a party than a showcase because there were multiple performers going at the same time. So it felt kind of relaxed because I was not the only person up, but there were definitely a lot of people watching, and that was the first time that I was performing something live. It was more freestyle, so I didn't really prepare something ahead of time, just kind of listened to my body, did what I could. What felt like I wouldn't fall. And that was in 2023. And then I told myself that I was going to try PSO again, and I was going to try it in person. So as soon as PSO Northeast opened up for registration, I signed up. I think that it opens in like May for our November one, and I literally signed up the day that I saw the announcement, so that I could not back out from there. That was me saying, okay, I'm doing this. I know I'm going to be nervous about it. We're just going to sign up right now. So I signed up, and then I started working with a coach in like July of 2023 to prepare for it. I had also started seeing some friends performing in local shows, like cabaret and burlesque shows. And I was really intrigued by that because I wanted to have more friends come to hang out and see the world that I really love and adore, and potentially even see me be a part of it. So I looked into auditioning or signing up to be a part of a show, and I got to be a part of a show called Sinner's Paradise, put on by Nista Heart Studios at the time was the name, and that was in September 2023, so it kind of coincided with PSO training. So I performed in that show, and that is what I would say is my first like live stage performance. I was super nervous, but it was really fun. I remember stressing out about my a couple combos that I had planned like a few days beforehand, and then I was like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. And I had actually not long before that in my PSO training hurt my hip flexor, training a trick for that. So I was also worried about that. But it went really well. I had a great time, and I think the audience enjoyed it. It was really fun, and I highly recommend performing to anyone that is interested in it, whether that's in your local studio showcase, which are super low key and supposed to be a fun opportunity to show your own progress, or something where there are tickets sold, or competing as well. You can compete in regional competitions. You can go to the competitions and compete in the showcase. All of those opportunities are available and super worthwhile if you're at all interested. You don't have to be interested to be a valid poller. You can totally stay as a student. You can just do it as a hobby. You can just do it as an instructor. Like whatever you choose is fine. But if you're interested in it, definitely take the leap and try it at least once so you can get to know about it. And then I came back to PSO and was, I think, more zen from this time around, having known how anxious and stressed out I got about it the first time around. I think I took it a little bit more at my own pace when it came to the cadence of practicing and how I talked about preparation with other people, and what sort of rituals I would come up with for myself prior to competing. Because I really think the psychological part of competition is the hardest part. The training is kind of something you just have to do to be prepared, but the psychological part, you can try to prepare yourself, but something could happen at any moment that just like knocks you off your rocker. So that is definitely the hard part. And we got to PSO. I did my piece. I was definitely really nervous leading up to it, jumping around. I do these things that I call like my nervous hops. I look like a little bunny, Energizer bunny. Anytime I'm like scared of something, which I get really scared doing like flips and stuff on the pole. So I'll always end up like hopping for a while after I'm trying something. And this time I was hopping before I was doing something, which was going to get on stage for the performance. And I think I blacked out on stage. I literally think I blacked out. I don't remember what happened. I just know that in the first few seconds, I messed up my routine. Like I did the wrong thing, and I just had to kind of like play it off. And then I was off stage, basically. I don't remember what happened in the middle. Apparently I survived. I thought I was about to puke. I started crying. I think that the other people who were backstage were like, "You were so good. Oh my God, that was great." Like everyone being super supportive. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm crying right now. thank you for supporting me. You're gonna do awesome. Kick ass out there. Good grip. I'm gonna go maybe to the bathroom. And, yeah, I feel like I was once again, maybe this is not the right strategy, but I really feel like when I'm putting a performance together, I try to like think about what state of mind I've been in recently, what experiences I've had that I would like to convey in my dance, in my performance. And that was a performance that came after a really stressful time for me in school and in life. So I was truly like bearing my soul. I know I already said that with the last one, but this time I think I like turned it up a notch further to really share what I had been feeling. And so I think I definitely, right after the performance, was like feeling the weight of like, okay, I put that all out there and now someone's going to judge me on that. Ah, that's so scary. Um, but yeah, I ended up winning. So that was cool. Um, I was not expecting that. There were some really great artists in my category, and um, I am grateful to have been on stage, the same stage as them. The people that I shared the podium with were incredible people. Um, yeah, I was not expecting that. It was just kind of like an added plus and um, kind of validating to know that not that like I accomplished all the moves that I did or anything like that, but that the message that I was trying to share got across at least. Yeah. And then after that, I was like, okay, performing is just going to be fun for from now on. So I did another like a cabaret show and showcase, and I'm now kind of just chilling. Though I will be performing at PolCon in the creepy showcase. So a little different style from what I've done in the past, but I'm excited.
Yes. Oh my goodness, so much experience. I love it. Pole competition is a lot of emotions, so I do not blame you for having those emotions getting off a stage. And congrats on the win.
Yeah, that was a little while ago now, so it feels like old. But um I have I will probably compete again at some point in my life, but I'm not in a rush to do it. I feel like I have to give myself more and more time between each competition enrollment.
I, I understand. I can't believe it's gone by so fast. 2 years already. Wow.
Right? I feel
Almost, yeah.
yeah. Now you're a PSO unicorn.
Everyone sign up for PSO, happy to answer questions, and it doesn't have to be as stressful as it was for me.
Yes, love
Um,
it.
I love that. What would you say is the biggest like difference between, I mean, obviously there's quite a few differences, but virtual and real life competition for those who might want to dip their toes in PSO but are not sure yet.
I think virtual is a good way to get started because you have as many tries as you want to record it. I do think, though, that that is a dangerous game to play because we are our biggest critics, and you might never feel satisfied with the video that you come out with. So, it almost I almost want to flip my answer and say, like, do the stage performance first so you know that you will survive, even if not everything goes perfectly well on stage. You will have probably more nerves ahead of time because there's a live audience, but the added like support that you get from hearing audience screams is so uplifting, and you get one and done. After you're done, like that's it, and you're like, sweet, cool, whatever happens happens from here. Or you could stress out about it, but go give your people a hug, go get a snack, drink some water, and let whatever happens happen. Um, versus like yeah, the virtual one, you have all these chances. So if that's something that would make you feel better, I think that that's a good place to start. Um, yeah, I think that they offer kind of opportunities for people who might have different like questions or anxieties about performing. If you're really into having audience feedback, then live performing, live competition is definitely for you. If you want to share it far and wide, or if you want ample opportunity to revise and refine your performance, then virtual would be a good option.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. And I'm excited to see your creepy pole piece for PoleCon. We need more horror stuff. I'm like big horror, like I want to see the blood and gore and all of it.
Oh my God, there's not going to be any gore in mine, but hopefully it's a little creepy.
Yay, that's exciting still.
So you'll
Not
be there?
at PoleCon, unfortunately.
Not this year.
Okay.
We'll try again next year.
There's also going to be a PoleCon West this year.
Oh, interesting.
PoleCon West, so that means California-ish.
I think they're doing it in Denver. But yeah, there's going to be slightly different showcase categories and makes it a little more accessible to people on the other side of the country for sure. That one is going to be, I think, in September,
Ooh, that's cool.
but I'm not going to be there. But
Right, I
it's
want to
cool that
be.
they're expanding.
That's even farther.
Yeah.
I know. I really wanted to go this year, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
Right, I like that they have the scholarship program available. Yeah, because that's
It is
basically
really
my
nice.
barrier.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think I didn't know about the scholarship program before. I kind of just had to like budget hard to make this happen this time
Yeah.
around. Um, yeah, I think it's really nice to see studios and organizations trying to make whole training, performing, learning, and teaching more accessible as a whole. I feel like our transition to having more online resources has been really helpful in making things more accessible to people. But it sometimes doesn't compare to the in-person component where you get to not only do the learning and stuff, but be a part of the community in person. So it's nice that they're doing something like that.
I know that was our biggest goal this year. Hey, but I'm
And
excited
you
about
guys are also like contributing to the accessibility in the community with having this podcast. I feel like it helps people to kind of get a sense for the different journeys and feel like they got to meet more people. So thank you for putting this together.
truly our pleasure. We love sharing stories, and I mean, there's so much talent out there, and we just want to share you all.
Right, everyone's got their, like you said, their unique story, and like I've learned so much from everyone just
Um,
talking.
about what we love.
Right? I've already learned so much this episode from you, Jazzy. Thank you.
I don't know, I didn't really teach anything. I just rambled. It's fine.
You'll be
I'm glad
surprised.
it helped.
Now I'm curious to learn about your favorite pole trick.
So I have, I think, a love-hate relationship with Janiro. Janiro is a move that I learned fairly early in my pole journey, because I have a pretty bendy back, and at the time, um, just had kind of strength from softball, and then I have a bit of rock climbing experience as well. So that was something I got early on and was like, oh my God, I need to figure out all the different variations of Gennaro that I can do, all the entries and exits. And I loved it. I was like doing Gennaro splits and all this stuff. I tried to put it in every routine that I could ever come up with. Um, and then after I injured my hip flexor, I like was not really able to do it. I wasn't training it for a while as part of it. So the muscle memory just wasn't there because I was focusing on other tricks. Um, but that combined with the hip flexor made it very challenging for me for a while. And then because it was challenging physically, it became challenging mentally. And I was developing like a mental block around it because I wanted it so badly, but it wasn't working and I didn't know what was going on. Um, and then I set it aside and am trying to rebuild my love for Gennaro by getting back to the basics, really trying to make sure that I understand the mechanics behind the trick and what I actually need to do to get there on my own and hold it stably so that I can hopefully once again progress towards some of the variations that I enjoy, like the split and trying different entries. So that's my favorite move, though I can't say that it's something that I'm doing a lot at the moment.
That's funny. We just had a discussion about Gennaro previously about, and also about hip placement in Gennaro because it is a thing. Like, I think that's why I keep falling out of it.
Yeah, if you're not like getting on the right part of your elbow, good luck. Slip right off.
Yeah.
It's
I
hard.
can't wait to see you when you get in it again, though. You're gonna get it.
We'll
Yeah,
see. I'm trying my best.
that's all we can do.
You're so right. So true.
Do you have a pole nemesis?
My pole nemesis, I have two. Iguana. I don't like iguana. I haven't tried iguana in a long time, so I don't even know if I can do it anymore, but I don't like it. And Marion Amber, I feel like my lower half is so heavy that it's hard for me to get my butt up on top of my shoulders when I'm already like relying on my knee hook. Um, so yeah, that one is another one. And it's scary, like taking the leg off the pole. Oh my God, so scary. But that one I did recently, and I was very afraid the whole time. But I didn't fall, which is a win.
Uh, I love that. Married Amber, that one gave me quite a few hearts to my ass moments.
Right? It's scary. And some people just get up there so easily. They're like going from a Jasmine or from a Cupid or I don't know, jumping into it. And I'm like, huh? How?
I found like releasing the knee like painful on the leg. I don't know why. Like straightening that, it made no sense.
It's so scary. My leg like shakes as I'm taking it off because it doesn't want to go. It's like, no, 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 no. I'm supposed to be on the pole.
Oh, too. You would
Yeah,
think
we're
it's be
constantly battling our fears in pole.
Yeah.
that one is like tricky. You're like, I could do a butterfly, so I could definitely do that, and it is not the same.
It is not the same. I don't know.
Right.
The
It's
positioning is different.
because
Yes.
your butt is like, oh, yeah, your butt is in a different place. But I
You're
also
like
hate
pulling it further.
iguana.
Maybe it's a hypermobile thing.
Right? Anything that's behind me, I'm like,
I'm like scared I'm gonna lose an arm. Like my whole arm is gonna be
yeah,
gone, just taken off.
yes, yeah.
I
Right.
like this. I like descending into it, but the raising into it, yeah, no.
There's no way I could raise into that. But it might feel better if I was strong enough to raise up into it. Yeah, the coming down is just so scary. No, thank
Yeah, I'm
you.
like staring at my pole now. Like, do I try iguana later?
After a nice warm up.
It's been
Yeah.
so long. Maybe.
Oh my gosh. I want to circle back though, because you keep bringing up in like your performance and everything about the mental part of it. And that's so true. And especially for us hypermobile people, I feel like we have to do a lot of like calming of our nervous systems so that we can like do the thing. Do you have any tips um for the mental part of pole dancing and performance and competition and in general?
Um, I guess I can have some general tips. The mental aspect, I really feel like as far as getting myself into a more steady mental state, I take from my experiences in softball, where each player kind of comes up with their own ritual when they're walking up to the batter's box. And I had my own sort of ritual where I would like tap different parts of the box. I would spin my bat a couple times and then like inhale and deep exhale and then like get into the zone where I was looking directly at where the ball was going to come from. And that was sort of my ritual as I was getting into the box. There were other components of the ritual that would come up in different parts, like even before I'm walking up or when I'm getting ready, like every softball player, baseball player is a little, we like to say we're a little stitious. We're not superstitious, we're just a little stitious. Where like you'll have an order to things. Maybe we're just all OCD, but you'll have an order to things. Like you can only put on, I don't know, everyone is different, but you have to put on your socks in a certain order and then your shoes and whatever. Each person's different, but you kind of come up with your own ritual that helps you to solidify your headspace and focus in on what's in front of you. Um, and I feel like having had practice with that probably helped me to get through the more mentally tough parts when it came to performing for pole or other things. Definitely didn't do it as effectively with pole because it's a different environment. Not everyone is necessarily doing the same thing, but I would highly recommend finding your ritual. Um, Maybe you know that you need to eat a certain number of hours before, and then you want to check your costume a certain number of times, check your makeup a certain number of times, and um, sit in silence. I don't know. For me, I tried to like just make sure I had my own space prior to going up. So I would either sit in the what was the room called at PSO where um all the competitors go
The dressing
beforehand?
room?
Just the dressing room. I thought it
Yeah.
had a different name, but yeah, the dressing room and just kind of sit there. And then what actually ended up being really helpful was all the other people who were competing in there were just like talking to each other and kind of just being really friendly, and that made it feel less scary. And then before I was going on, just trying to settle my thoughts. And then I had to do my bunny hops for a while to really get in the zone and shake it out, sort of. And as I walk up onto stage, um, the guy who gives everyone hugs and supports everyone and gives them nice words of affirmation beforehand really helps. And then you're like, okay, now time to get in the zone. And then you can black out and it's fine. Um, and um, but I do think that should I do it again, I would be more intentional about developing a ritual that I'd want to keep for pole competition or pole performing in general. Um, the softball ritual took me like years to figure out for myself. So I think offering myself grace, and it's okay that I don't have a ritual yet, but figuring out what would work to calm my nerves and get me into the competition or performance headspace is something that would probably be helpful.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I just like thinking about my own experience and like I've been on stage for like 20 years and I literally don't do any of that, and that sounds really good to me. Like something you can control before, like, because you can't control what's about to happen.
I love that you said that because that is literally like how our coaches would talk to us. They would, anytime someone would get stressed out about something that like happened, they would say, control the controllables. That's not something you can control. The controllables are your attitude and your effort. And that's pretty much it. And so just control those things. And if there's a little ritual that helps you to get into that headspace, all the better.
Yes, cheers to rituals. I know I have a ritual.
What's yours?
What's
Do you want
yours?
to share?
I have this thing that like I feel like I'm sweaty, so I feel comfortable like reapplying grip all over like the 10 minutes prior to the thing. I keep gripping up my knees, my shoulders, my hands. It's pretty bad. Like I could go through half a bottle before I even go.
That's super common though. I feel like in even just a class before you're attempting something, people kind of have little mini rituals where they're putting grip on or wiping the pole down, and they feel like they have to do it every time. And so taking that and translating it to performing is great. And yeah, don't want to be too slippery on the pole.
And just have fun. I noticed that's a big one too. Like if you're doing it to win, it kind of takes the fun out. If you're doing it to like say, "Hey, I'm here to perform and give you a show," then it's such a different experience.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you could be on stage like what Jazzy's doing and bearing her soul.
I sound so silly.
No, I like that is like to be so vulnerable on stage is something that I always want to do, and I think I always like try to do it and then I cheat myself. So thank you for being able to do that.
You
And
can do it. It's scary for sure. Have a bucket ready.
right, but it is so like transformative just to like because you talked about like the energies that you were feeling before your performance and you just kind of like let that out, and that's such an important way to experience art and pole dancing. And,
You-
and cathartic for the audience too, like for everyone. It's better for everyone.
Yeah, I hope that it just like comes across. I think that was my biggest worry is that like I'm gonna do this and people are gonna be like, what was that about?
Right. I think that's what my biggest fear is as well. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
someone
But honestly, it doesn't matter if they do feel that way. Like it's just
It's true.
it's your moment.
That's true.
did get a comment like that, so I survived this, so you will too. They were like, I didn't understand it at all, like what was going through your head. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
It's fun. Anywho, so how do you cross train? I know you mentioned that you do the gym, and prior to the interview, you mentioned something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to go to the gym with regular frequency. I'm trying to get more regular. But traveling and stuff ends up kind of getting in the way. But I try to do some daily mobility work, either in the morning or sort of midday after working for a little while. Um, and recently, I have started going to a circus studio to train contortion. This it was like mostly out of curiosity to see like one, how is contortion different from like the flexibility that we train? And also the curiosity kind of came from me trying to learn about flexibility training. I came across several contortion coaches online, took some sort of online learning with them, and then wanted to start learning in person, and finally got the opportunity. Largely in part to New England Black Circus, is an organization that gives scholarships to individuals interested in circus training. from minority backgrounds. So I applied to their scholarship and was able to get a partial scholarship for the classes that I'm taking at Esch Circus in Somerville, which is super helpful and definitely made it a lot more accessible for me. I probably wouldn't be doing the in-person training otherwise, just from my own budget perspective. So that's been really helpful. And it's been really fun. We like alternate between back and shoulder flexibility and then splits flexibility. And the first week that we did splits flexibility, I was like this close to my middle splits, which has never happened for me before. I like was convinced my hips don't open that way. And then the coach was like, can I push down on your hips? And I said no because I was really scared, but I was like this close to being on the floor for my middle splits. It has to come. It has to come. It hasn't happened yet, but I think this year is the year.
Yes, 2025 for flexibility.
Yeah.
And did you
So yeah, those are, go ahead.
did you see any differences between contortion and like what we do, like the active flexibility? I know I feel like it's more hands-on. I think that's why I kind of stay away from it as well. But maybe it's necessary.
I do think, yeah, we end up doing more partner assisted, I guess trying to identify your end range passive flexibility. We still do lots of active flexibility, especially in the beginning to get our muscles and joints ready. But then we'll do some partner assisted stuff to try to reach those deeper end ranges in our joints that you might not be able to get to just with your active, and then trying to kind of find active tension once you have gotten to a deeper passive zone. So I think that it's really nice because I'm learning a lot of exercises that I think would translate really well, that are either partner or solo exercises, that would translate really well to pole training. But I do feel like I have to be careful because depending on the skill that you're training for contortion, it will look very different from what you might see as a similar skill for pole. Yeah.
Good to know.
I know
Yeah.
I'm planning to take a contortion class. That sounds like fun.
They're super fun. Yeah, you're like, I didn't know I could bend that way. My arms are so tired today. I was doing some like bridges and then trying to do push-ups to touch my nose to the ground. And I think my shoulders are just like tired from that.
That sounds so scary. I feel like my face would just eat it. But I'm sure
Mine
you
has.
work up to it.
Mine has.
No.
It's so okay though. That's just how it goes.
That's how we learn.
Exactly.
Back to pole, do you have any hand and body grip that you use for pole dancing?
I mostly use dry hands. But honestly, I feel like more often than grip, I'm just using the towel with the ethanol. Uh, yeah, I feel like my problem is more often that my skin is too dry than too sweaty, so there's not a ton of moisture to absorb unless it's like the heat of the summer and um super humid in a way where I stop being sticky and I start actually being slippery. But usually the humidity helps me to just be sticky, and I like that. Um, I like that sensation for pole. Um, so I don't use too much grip. I feel like I still have the same, not bottle, but pack of bottles that I started with.
No way. Even for like power pole and everything?
Yeah, I don't run through that much grip. I feel like I use the alcohol more often, which probably contributes to me having too much dryness. But um yeah, yeah.
I can see that. Sometimes the alcohol definitely helps for sure. Or like Dawn soap.
Never tried that.
Oh, right, because it gets all like oils off.
Yeah.
And
Okay, okay, we'll consider.
right, and somebody else said shaving cream, which I haven't tried yet.
I have tried the shaving cream. I have to get back to it. I don't know. I've been having a struggle with grip. You're one
Same,
of,
yeah.
you're one of the lucky ones, JazzyBee.
Right, I was gonna say the unicorn pole dancer
I'm
doesn't need
kind of
the grip.
jealous though. I feel like everyone figures out like what's their favorite grip, and I'm like, I just use the first thing that someone handed to me. I don't, I feel like that's a new dimension of knowledge that I should probably acquire to be able to like recommend things to other people or have an opinion at the very least. But yeah, just I'm just not as knowledgeable on that front.
If it works though, like why would you go anywhere else?
Uh, I know mine, I'm changing every season, every year.
You're just testing the products.
Me, my skin keeps changing.
I don't even know.
That's
Yeah.
the other thing. Our seasons really dictate how our skin feels.
Yes.
Yes.
And our age. But do you have anything upcoming that's fun that you want to let everyone know about?
PoleCon, I mentioned it already. Very excited to be performing in the Creepy Showcase. If anyone is there in person, I'll be there the whole weekend. So come say hi, let's hang out. Um, I personally love the pole community and think that that's like my favorite aspect of it. So would love to meet more people, talk in person, learn about you, and go from there. Kind of on that topic, what I'm hoping to have come up is putting on some community events. I like to on occasion do either fundraiser or community pole classes at local studios. Might try to find a way to do like an online fundraiser class. I think that once again, our community is one of the best parts of pole. It started, at least for me, as an individual journey and very quickly became a collective experience. And I think that has kept me so engaged and excited about pole. So yeah, trying to put together more opportunities for people to be in the same space and kind of share their joy around pole with one another, whether we're on the pole or not, or just in each other's presence, that kind of stuff.
I
Love
love that. And if you want to reach out to her, we'll have all her links and social media and the comments, the captions, the notes below. Yes,
Yes.
I will say the Poe industry, like the community is pretty amazing for the most part. Everybody's friendly because there's always a few oddballs, but it's always very encouraging and there's so much to learn, so many people to meet, so many places to visit.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely can't like speak for everyone, but at least I feel um, pretty privileged in my experience to have met such incredible people, people who I really look up to, whether they're instructors or other students, people who've become my really close friends. I am not from here, and pole is really my home away from home. And also with travel, it becomes a way for you to find community no matter where you are. There are more and more studios popping up everywhere. We have a vibrant online community, so it makes it much easier to kind of find your way in an unfamiliar place when we have this shared experience. Um, so yeah,
It sure does. I love it. I just want to visit all the studios, travel everywhere.
I have a map on Google Maps where I like every time I am made aware of a different pole studio in a different city, no matter where it is, I add it to the Google Maps. And it's in my Instagram. People can find it. Happy to send the link if it's hard to find. On my, I think it's somewhere in my stories, but yeah, so hopefully people can find places to train or meet other people no matter where you go, where you visit.
Yes, I love that. I love that. OMG. What whole song are you tired of listening to?
That's hard. I'm trying to think, what songs
There's
have I
so
heard?
many.
Yeah. I mean, it's always going to go like with whatever's popular. You're going to start to hear it a lot. Um, I it pains me to say it. I am preparing myself to be overhearing Defying Gravity. I love the song, I love the musical, but I am preparing myself for the time where all the performances are going to be defined. And there's going to be some beautiful performances. I know they're coming and they're going to be wonderful. They're going to be so awesome, but it's going to be a lot of them.
I might have to check this Defying Gravity out.
Wicked?
Oh, I still haven't seen it
Okay.
yet.
Right. Somebody in my class the other day said too, they were like, there's a lack of Broadway musicals in the plot.
No, there's not.
There's nothing at all. Uh,
Here we go.
OMG. And I also kind of want to ask, and this is a new question. I don't think we've ever asked anyone, but I want to start asking with you. What songs do you recommend to dance to people? I want to start introducing dancers to new music, and everybody has different tastes. It doesn't have to be like a list, maybe one or two.
So I have like a lot of playlists on my Spotify, and I'm sure pretty much every dancer does. But I have like a playlist for um like slower songs and chiller songs. I have some that are higher energy. I have my like pole warm-up mix. Um, Songs that I've enjoyed dancing to, a lot of them are from Alt J, which is kind of like an indie band. They're not that indie anymore, in that they're pretty popular as far as indie bands go. And it's been a long time since they've been making music, but there's a couple songs in their repertoire that I would love to put performances together for. Um, and I think that they're fun to dance to even without having sort of a goal in mind or an idea for a performance. Um, Flowy songs, I like I'm forgetting the name of the artist. Hold on. Let me look. Do, do, do. I'm gonna remember it as soon as I like, yes, 2 Feet. Well, how could I forget that artist name? But 2 Feet, I think, is a good artist for kind of like flowier dance style. And then if you like more energy, Beyonce is always great. Of
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for sharing that and introducing us to new music. Well, not new music, but new music.
course. Of course.
Um,
Anytime. Happy to share music. Someone
yeah.
asked for my playlist in class this past weekend, and I was like, that's the highest compliment you could ever get.
I was thinking about that, like maybe how if people we interview are down for it, sharing their playlist so we can add it to their links.
Right. I would
I'm
love.
down. I think I have it in my link tree.
Yes. Calling all past interviewees, send over your playlist.
Too funny idea. This is fun.
Do you
Yeah.
guys have songs you'd recommend? I want to know now.
Oh
Right.
my goodness. I've been on an Amanati binge lately. Like, oh, the beats that artist creates, very, yeah, very, I don't know, very sexy, very sultry, and just very different,
Mm.
exotic. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta check it out. Oh, this is like a small artist.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, okay. Let's
Incredible
see.
sexy beats.
For me, I will always dance to Portishead, and Tool.
Okay.
Those two will always, forever.
I have to
Okay,
check.
I haven't heard Portishead before.
Ah, that song. I'm so tired of playing with this bow and arrow. Gotta give my heart away. You
Oh,
know it. It's like, give me a
No.
reason. Oh, okay. Well,
well,
Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
we went over
it's like,
this. Yeah.
I'm also not a singer, so I'm probably like making it sound terrible.
No, your beautiful voice.
Okay. Now I give. Okay. Yep.
Well, I think it was that was all the questions that I had for Jazzy today.
Do you have anything else you want to share, offer anyone at all? Anything? Maybe give a shout out. Anything?
I'm gonna give a shout out to all of my teachers and um, classmates all the way from the beginning to now. You guys have helped to shape me into who I am and how I experience the pole world. You two are included in that. We have been peers in class before. I have learned from you before. I look up to everyone in different ways, but also fully because you are each a whole person. And I just, yeah, I thank you for having me on. And I wouldn't be here without all of those other people. So um, thank you to them as well.
Yes, truly our pleasure. It's been so beautiful to watch your
Oh,
journey
you're
through the years.
Oh, oh, that was so sweet. You're so sweet.
I love it.
Oh, right. I can't wait to dance with you again soon.
Sorry, I'm a little bit of a crybaby.
Oh, I love.
This is why I am like about to throw up whenever I perform. But
Oh,
anyways, this is so embarrassing. It's
We can erase it if you want.
no, it's okay. It's okay. It's me. It's who I am.
oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I
thank
love
you so
it.
much for sharing you and who you are. And like I said, you taught me so much just during this interview, and I know you've inspired so many others as well, and will continue. So thank you so much for being willing to share your story.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where it takes you in 5 to 10 years. Hopefully, we'll still be doing this podcast, but yes.
Yes, you should be. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see where this goes in 5 to 10 years. Yeah, thank you so
Right?
much for the opportunity to be here and chat with you guys. And I feel like it was just really fun.
Yay! Hey, and thank you so much to our listeners and watchers of this episode of Pole on the Call podcast. My name is Mandy Mac.
And I am Cris Rivers. Let me see if I can balance. Ooh, heels. Yay. Happy baby pose.
I'm Jazzy. I'm not them.
Rainbow glitter. Oh, those are gorgeous.
Those are
Yes.
amazing.